Romantic turning points. If you ask couples when their romantic relationship began, chances are good they can identify a particular marker. Maybe it was a specific date, a special embrace, or the first time a partner uttered the words, "I love you." Communication researchers call these relational turning points, transformative events that alter the relationship in a fundamental way. Turning points can provide clues about the status of the relationship. "I think you've been avoiding me since we visited your family," or "I feel much more connected to you after our big talk last week." Toward that end, they are useful tools for communicating and meta-communicating about the status of a romantic relationship. Couples conflict styles. In fact, that big first fight is a common romantic turning point suggests that conflict is a normal part of couples communication. And for most partners, that first disagreement is rarely the last. John Gottman has spent years studying romantic relationships and finds that couples tend to fall into one of the three following conflict styles. 1 is volatile, 2 avoidant, 3 validating. Volatile, these couples have intense, heated arguments, sometimes over very small issues. They raise their voices, compete to hold the floor, and make their cases passionately. Conflicts for these couples are often seen as a contest to be won. Avoidant style, couples who use this style prefer to ignore issues rather than confront them. They minimize disagreements and steer clear of sensitive topics. The partners acknowledge that they have conflicts, but they handle them quickly and dispassionately. Validating, these couples openly and cooperatively manage conflicts. When they have differences of opinion, they talk them through in civil ways without denying their feelings. They listen carefully and to each other and look for collaborative solutions to their problems. Gottman maintains it's the number of positive and negative communicative acts. He calls the 5-to-1 the magic ratio and says that as long as couples have 5 times as many positive interactions, such as touching, smiling, paying compliments, laughing, kind words, and so on, as negative ones, they are likely to be happy and have a successful relationship. So the key for all couples, including validating partners, is to maintain the appropriate 5-to-1 magic ratio. Author Gary Chapman argues that each of us has our own notion what counts as love. He calls these notions love languages and suggests that we get into trouble when we fail to recognize that our way of expressing love may not match our partner's. Chapman identifies the following 5 languages in romantic relationships, and research offers support of these categories. Number 1, words of affirmation. 2, quality time. 3, gifts. 4, acts of service. And finally, physical touch. Words of affirmation. These include compliments, words of praise, verbal support, written notes or letters, or other ways of saying that a person is valued and appreciated. People who use this love language are easily hurt by insults, ridicule, or when their efforts aren't verbally acknowledged. Next is quality time. This is about being present and available for your partner and giving that person your complete, undivided attention for a significant period of time. Being inattentive or distracted takes the quality out of the time spent together. Gifts. People who measure love in terms of gifts believe it's the thought that counts. A gift needn't be expensive to be meaningful. The best ones are the type that the recipient will appreciate. To gift-oriented partners, neglecting to honor an important event is a transgression. Acts of service. Taking out the trash, filling the car with gas, doing laundry. The list of chores that can be acts of service is endless. Similar to gifts, the key to service is knowing which acts would be most appreciated by your partner. An indication may be the chore that your partner hates most. Physical touch. Although this might include sexual activity, meaningful touch could also include other expressions of affection, an arm around the shoulder, a held hand, a brush of the cheek, or a neck rub. Partners understandably but mistakenly can assume that the love language they prefer is also the one that their mate will appreciate. So for example, if your primary love language is gifts, then you probably expect presents from loved ones on special occasions, and perhaps even on ordinary ones. You are also likely to give gifts regularly and assume that they will be received appreciatively. As you can imagine, the assumption that your partner speaks the same love language as you can be a setup for disappointment. Most people learn their love languages from their family of origin. To a degree, then, we're imprinted with ways to give and receive affection from an early age. The good news is that we can learn to communicate love in different ways, especially with the help from our romantic partners.